Yo, what's good, everybody? Oh, shit. Yeah, you see what we're watching? The Walking Dead 10 questions that always confuse you. As you know,
There's no denying
or
that The
as you
Walking
don't know.
Dead is one of the most popular TV shows of the last decade.
But if y'all don't know, well, I love The Walking Dead. One of my top 3
After all,
favorite
keep the
shows.
wheels turning, it's fair to say that there's still plenty that fans are a bit confused about. I'm
Yep.
Cy for WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 questions that always confused you about The Walking Dead. Number 10. How long was Rick in a coma? One of the most
A year.
discussed aspects of the show since its very first episode has been the length of time that Rick Grimes spends in a coma after being shot and then reawakening
1 year.
in the midst of the undead apocalypse. The timeline of Rick's recovery has never been concretely confirmed within The Walking Dead itself, with
3
fans
months,
regularly
1
speculating
month.
that he was probably holed up in that hospital bed for at least a month or two. But in 2015, while promoting spin-off Fear the Walking Dead, its showrunner and executive producer Dave Erickson told Tech Insider that the comic's creator, Robert Kirkman, had given him a rough time frame. He said Rick was probably out 4 to 5 weeks. As for how Rick was able to survive that long without food and water, it's been theorized that he was taken care of by Dr. Gail Marcones, who was shown to be caring for patients in the same hospital in the webisode series The Oath. Number 9. What happened to Laurie's bones? Early in the show's third season, Laurie dies during childbirth, and in the episode Say the Word, Rick visits the boiler room where she died. In lieu of her corpse, though, he finds an extremely bloated walker, and making the understandable deduction that the walker has consumed Laurie's body, promptly executes it. Yet this still begs the question, what happened to Laurie's bones? It's been established in the show that the walkers don't eat bones, so where exactly did Laurie's skeletal remains go? Though it's not easily indicated by the episode itself, director and makeup effects supervisor Greg Nicotero confirmed in an interview with Daily Dead that Laurie's bones were very close by indeed, pointing out a blood trail that implicates that the walker dragged her body around the boiler room. Nicotero added that he made the
That is not a question that I cared about.
Feasted upon remains for fear that it would detract from the impact of her demise. Number 8. Did Herschel know that Sophia was in the barn? One of the second season's prevailing mysteries is the disappearance of Carol's
Bro, like,
daughter,
these are not
Sophia,
questions that we
who
need to
in
know.
mid-season
We already
episode
know.
Pretty
No,
Much Dead
he
Already
didn't.
is revealed to
He
be
said,
one of the
"I
walkers
didn't
in
know."
Herschel Green's barn before being executed by Rick. Once fans got the shock of Sophia's discovery and death out of their system,
And
a
he
question
looked
emerged.
surprised, bro.
Did
Like,
Herschel
what?
know that Sophia was in
No,
the barn the
look,
whole
no.
damn time? Fans often point to a scene in an earlier episode, Cherokee Rose, where Shane asks what they're going to do if Sophia is already a walker. Andrea says that they'll tell Carol the truth, at which point Maggie gives her father Herschel a seemingly knowing look before Herschel shakes his head. In retrospect, many have interpreted this as confirming that Herschel and Maggie knew that Sophia was in the barn the whole time.
Wait,
On the
what?
opposite side, though, it's also established that the walkers were placed in the barn by Otis, and given that he was soon enough killed by Shane, it's entirely possible that he simply never told Herschel that Sophia was in the barn prior to his demise. Number 7. Who was in the helicopter in the very first episode? One of the most distinctive sights from the pilot episode
the
is Rick
military?
riding through desolate Atlanta on horseback when he suddenly spots a helicopter flying overhead. But upon following it, he ends up running into a huge horde of walkers. Ever since this episode aired 12 years ago, fans have speculated on who might be inside the helicopter and
The
what
military.
the story could be, but alas, it's never been unambiguously confirmed. Though some believe this helicopter to be the very same that Michonne and Andrea witnessed crashing into the forest in Season 3's Walk With Me, others believe it to be a mere hallucination on Rick's part, and there are some that have simply accepted it as a remnant military vessel doing a sweep of the area.
Yes.
We still don't know for sure, and considering that the series has gone well over a decade without providing a definitive answer, we probably never will. Number 6. Why did the governor want the prison? As fierce as the governor undeniably was,
Bro, like,
throughout
these
his
are-
stint
like,
on the
bro,
show,
it
fans
had
continued to be
protection,
mystified as
more
to why
land.
the authoritarian leader of Woodbury was so hell-bent on taking control of the prison. After all, Woodbury is a considerably more inviting place to see out the undead invasion compared to a soulless clinical prison. But to truly understand the governor's
Cross.
motivations, you need to stop thinking like a rational person. Because of course, who was the governor if not a sociopathic, power-hungry madman whose actions frequently defy the logic of a grounded
Crops.
human being? The notion that Rick and his group had control of the prison was an affront to the governor's ego on a basic level, that somebody else completed a task that he was convinced couldn't be done. And so, propelled forward by his own colossal ego, the governor staged not one but 2 unsuccessful raids on the prison, resulting in his own death. The phrase "hoist by his own petard" seems rather appropriate here, a man defeated by his own insatiable, senseless thirst for empire and control. Number 5. Why were the walkers smarter in Season 1? One common point of confusion among fans
Were
is
they?
how much smarter the walkers appear to be in the show's earlier episodes, especially season 1, when they're shown to retain memories from their pre-walker days and exhibit far more
Probably because their
complex
brain
motor
rots more.
functions. Perhaps most memorably, there's the Walker child in the show's pilot episode, a young girl who Rick sees picking up and carrying a teddy bear as his most
they just got
uncharacteristic
turned?
behavior for a walker. Other walkers were shown turning doorknobs, smashing windows, and even climbing fences, which ultimately proved to be inconsistent with the presentation of the walkers in
Yeah,
later seasons where
because
they
they
were
just got
considerably
turned and their
dumber.
brain isn't
the
as
practical
dumb.
answer is that the vision for the show changed when Frank Darabont was fired as showrunner, and makeup effects supervisor Greg Nicotero himself admitted that they hadn't figured out yet what the rules for the zombies were. But the trailers for the currently airing final season have made it clear that the series will finally circle back to the smart walkers, who will presumably be confirmed as another variant of Walker altogether. Number 4. Who the hell is mowing all the lawns? Silly as it might sound, it's one of The Walking Dead's most pervasive mysteries since its very first season. Who the hell is out here mowing all these lush lawns across Georgia? Despite a full-blown undead holocaust taking place, somebody evidently found the time to hop on their lawnmower and keep things
I mean, bro,
looking nice and
obviously,
tidy.
like, they're not
It's
just gonna
especially
let the
ridiculous
grass
given that
grow.
The invasive plant species kudzu is prominent throughout Georgia, earning the nickname the vine that ate the South. As hilarious as it is to consider a team of committed or very, very bored people keeping the city's kudzu at bay in the middle of the Walker invasion, there isn't really any plausible in-universe explanation.
Like, bro,
for
that's
this.
not a,
In
like,
terms
bro,
of
that's
the
so
show's
obvious,
logistics,
bro.
It's clearly an aesthetic thing, not to mention that covering the entirety of Atlanta in kudzu, whether practically or digitally, would be hugely expensive. Number 3. How did Lydia attach the rope to save Aaron? One of the low-key most baffling moments of the entire series happened in the recent Season 11 episode No Other Way, where Aaron ends up trapped in a flooded basement with walkers clipping at his heels. Aaron is left dangling off a rusty metal pipe as the walkers claw at his body when he's suddenly rescued by Lydia, who inexplicably uses a rope to pull him free. The sequence is edited to never show how Lydia managed to quickly jerry-rig a rope system to pull Aaron clear. Given that the pipe was literally collapsing moments earlier, how exactly was Lydia able to hook up any sort of knot that would support his weight from the outside? After all, Aaron wasn't exactly in any position to help, given that he most certainly had his own.
I mean,
hands
bro,
full.
dude, like,
Fans
bro,
have suggested that the rope
nobody
scene didn't
asked that,
properly
bro,
in
let's
the
be
editing
honest.
room, and so the decision may have been made to just cut it entirely. It's either that or straight up lazy writing, because it just isn't clear how
Yes,
Lydia was
lazy
able to
writing.
conceivably
That's
help
what it
Aaron
is.
escape.
It's
Number
obvious,
2,
bro.
what was up with the Hermit? Considering he only appeared in the show for all of 2 minutes, it's impressive that fans still keep asking questions about the unnamed Hermit, unlucky enough to encounter Rick and company in the Season 3 episode When the Dead Come Knocking. Rick, Daryl, Michonne and Oscar end up seeking
I don't
shelter from the
remember that.
walkers in a cabin where they encounter the Hermit,
Oh, I
who is
remember.
understandably startled by their presence. The Hermit inadvertently attracts more walkers to the cabin, and when he goes to open the door, Michonne promptly runs him through with her sword before Rick hurls his corpse outside for the walkers to feast on while they make their escape. So what exactly was his deal? His dialogue, namely threatening to call the cops, seems to imply that he's not even aware of the zombie apocalypse taking place,
Or he's
and
on
he also
drugs.
appears far more concerned about the living, breathing humans in his house rather than the walkers surrounding it. It's of course entirely possible that the man is either mentally ill or hopped up on drugs, but considering he was basically
Yes.
minding his own business until the so-called
Bro, I feel like I'm
heroes
like
who
100 or
told down
100 for
life,
this,
it's
bro.
a shame we never got to learn
Just
more
ask
about
me
him.
questions and
Number
I'll answer
1,
them, bro.
why doesn't anyone say zombie? It is admittedly
True.
a pretty common trope in zombie media that the characters don't say the Z word, though given the immense popularity of zombies in pop culture, it does seem a tad silly that the Walking
That
Dead
actually is a good
characters
question.
say Walker instead. It's an especially odd choice given that Robert Kirkman's comic books have freely referred to the undead as zombies, yet this was changed for the TV adaptation. As for why,
That's a
in
good
recent
question.
edition of Cutting Room Floor with Robert Kirkman, he revealed that this was largely mandated by the series creator and original showrunner Frank Darabont. Darabont wanted to have the story take place in a world where zombie fiction didn't exist, and so it wouldn't make sense for anyone to use the term. Kirkman further explained, for this story to work, you can't just have people saying you shoot them in the head, you know, just like the zombies from the Romero movies. So you have to assume this is a universe where George A. Romero didn't create the modern zombie, so we coined the term walkers for the show. At least walkers
Okay.
is a lot better than zeros, looking at you, Resident Evil Netflix. And that's the list. Let us know what you thought of this video.
Okay, that was a good video. Honestly, just ask me any question about The Walking Dead, I'll answer that, bro. Like, it's so fucking obvious. Like, what was the question? Why did that guy was surprised people were in his house, bro? Obviously, he was on drugs or something. Like, bro, what? Obvious, bro. But yeah, as you see above my head, if we get 600 subs, I'll do another 6-hour stream. I just did a 5-hour for 500. That's my sub count right there. But yeah, make sure to like and sub, and let me know in the comments about this video what you want me to react to, and yeah, peace.